Hello GNA Nation, I'm GNA Afternoon host, Matty Jeff, and you're watching the first edition of GNA's Pet Professors. Every month, we're going to be catching up with VCA doctors and technicians to help you learn about the best ways to interact and medically care for your pets. And today, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, senior wellness. Today I'm here with Medical Director, Dr. Lara Patrick. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So can you tell us what is senior wellness for your pet?
Well, senior wellness is really taking into consideration the special needs of our pets as they start to age and have unique problems that are specifically important for our older pets.
At what point does a pet become a senior pet?
It really depends on the species that you're talking about and also the breed. Breed has a lot to do with it, but I would say in general, overall, your average dog or cat would be considered a senior at around 7 years old.
May there be specific signs or symptoms that'll kind of alert a pet owner, hey, you know what, my pet has crossed into the senior age bracket?
Well, sure. We want to make sure that everyone understands that age in itself is not a disease, but aging does come with some problems that your dog or cat may start to experience.
What are some things pet owners might want to look out for?
One of the things that somebody might want to look out for in their older dog or cat is the amount of water that they're drinking. Is it more? Is it less? Are they having to frequent the bathroom more often or less often? Also, how much they're eating. Are they eating more? Are they eating less? Those types of things are very important when it comes to trying to figure out if there's something that could be going on with your dog or cat.
So eating or drinking changes, something to watch out for. So once an owner notices these symptoms, how often should they be bringing them into the vet, and what are some ways you can help that pet to stay healthy and live a long and healthy life?
Oh, sure. One of the most important things about senior wellness and wellness care is making sure that the animal is visiting the veterinarian often enough, which really should be every 6 months for a senior pet. If your pet does have specific medical issues that comes along with age, your pet may need to be seen more often than every 6 months, though.
So once an owner brings their dog or cat to see you, you kind of diagnose, all right, this cat's getting, or dog's getting a little bit older, we need to start changing treatment options. But what are some of the things you might tell an owner after they leave after the visit that they need to do with that pet at home to keep them healthy and thriving?
Well, some of the most specific things about senior wellness is exercise and how much they're exercising, how often, their diet. What are they actually eating? Are they overweight? Are they underweight? And making sure that they have appropriate measures at home to stay comfortable, like bedding, ramps, a little help with stairs. Those types of things are really important.
You mentioned exercise. What may be some tweaks a pet owner might want to make, with the activity that their pet is experiencing?
Oh, sure. One of the most important things about keeping anybody healthy, you, me, Jasmine, anybody, is
I need a lot more exercise, by the way.
And we want to make sure that exercise is part of the regimen from the get-go with a pet, whether it's playing with a feather or laser pointer for your cat or going for walks with your dogs. But just because your pet is suddenly a senior doesn't mean that you can suddenly start exercise without taking into consideration their needs. Do you need to start slow? Probably. Do you need to do frequent short exercise bursts as opposed to, taking your 8-year-old dog on a 5-mile jog for the first time? You need to start slow and making sure that you really understand their body language. Are they lagging behind? Are they trying to sit down? Are they panting really heavily? These are signs that perhaps you're doing too much. You need to back it down and maybe do frequent trips outside, 4 or 5 instead of 1.
It sounds like a lot of the activity, signs you're saying are the same way we approach ourselves as we age a little bit. Go to your doctor first,
Absolutely.
Get diagnosed, see how the dog is doing, and then start slow, get out for slower walks. But activity, I would assume, is important to keep your dog or cat in great shape.
Yeah, oh, absolutely it is. But you just want to make sure that you're being careful with them and you don't do any damage.
We're here with Kelly, the Acupuncture and Rehabilitation Assistant at VCA Shaker Animal Hospital. Kelly, can you tell us what you're doing right now to Jasmine?
Sure. Right now I'm actually using our laser, companion laser unit. What it does is it uses light and heat energy and it penetrates to a cellular level and it increases blood flow to an area and it helps with any inflammation or pain that she might be feeling.
So it's kind of like a doggy massage in essence.
Yeah, pretty much.
You lucky pup.
They usually like it.
And how long does this process usually take for the dog?
It depends on how big they are. So the larger dog and the more areas you're lasering, it takes longer. Smaller dogs, of course, it's shorter.
And for an older pup like Jasmine here, how often will they come in for this treatment?
Jasmine, well, she started out first coming in twice a week for the initial 6 weeks of treatment. And then from then, she's responded really well to it, so now she comes in once a week.
Okay. And she's aging so gracefully. I think dogs with gray hair, they look so distinguished. Like, I wish I was aging this gracefully. How do you keep all your hair? I can't keep mine. It's falling out. Dr. Patrick, you mentioned several ways we could tweak diet and exercise at home to keep our older pets healthy. But what may be some things for owners to watch out for, that you might diagnose that, you know, we can't solve at home, that they need more treatment for?
Right, and you're absolutely right to bring that up, because a lot of problems that senior pets get do need to be having some veterinary intervention. Dental disease is certainly one. Periodontal disease, you know, when their gums are really red, sometimes bleeding, they have a lot of tartar buildup. You know, that needs some professional intervention. Also, arthritis, or officially osteoarthritis, you know, sore hips, sore knees, sore elbows, sore shoulders. Backs are really problematic in some breeds specifically. And those types of ailments really need some medical intervention, whether it's pain relievers, joint supplements, rehabilitation, maybe some massage or laser therapy. There's a lot that can be done to really help those patients out when they're very sore like that.
I'm sorry, and I think that goes back to the importance of 2 visits a year, so you can diagnose those symptoms as they might pop up, or those conditions as they may come up.
Sure. No, it's at least 2 visits. And one of the most important things that your veterinarian should be recommending on those visits is routine blood work to make sure that we know how the bodily organs are functioning. Is your dog or cat starting to have problems with diabetes? Is its blood sugar okay? What are its kidneys doing? Are they functioning normally? And how is your dog or cat's thyroid level? You know, is it overactive? Is it underactive? Or is it just right where it should be?
So again, your mom told you to go to the doctor when you were younger every year and frequently. You got to do the same for your pets.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned dogs and cats. Now, how might the approach for a senior dog or a senior cat be different for pet owners? You know, what different things might a dog owner or a cat owner want to be looking for? Is there any differences as they age?
There really are some differences as they age. Dogs, as they age, tend to get very heavy, lethargic. They don't do much. They lie around. And adding that weight on perhaps arthritic joints just makes everything worse. Cats, on the other hand, tend to get very, very thin as they age. And that could be due to an overactive thyroid, kidney disease, or even diabetes. So your weight and how the dog is or cat is eating and gaining or losing weight, those are some pretty important differences between dogs and cats.
Is there any truth to, I've heard that as dogs or cats age, they will try to hide their symptoms from their owners.
Oh my goodness.
Is there any truth to that, or can you really see what's going on? Is there any weight to that saying?
There really is. Dogs and cats, even though they're domesticated and live with us for sometimes their entire lives,
yes,
they do still have those basic instincts to hide when they're sick and hide when there's something wrong. You know, it's sort of survival of the fittest, and if someone goes around limping and crying all the time like my children do, it really does say, I'm weak, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So they do try to hide those symptoms, and so that's why, again, it's so important to have a professional veterinarian take a look at your animal, maybe to, you know, delve out those little problems that they're not really showing you at home.
So you can see through that.
Yeah, we can.
Your pets are trying to stay strong for you, but you need to be strong for them and bring them in. So
absolutely,
the professionals here at VCA Shaker Animal Hospital can diagnose your older pets. So much great information you've given our pet owners in GNA Nation today to care for their older dogs and cats. Is there any big tip you could give us to wrap up that maybe we missed, that maybe they should be aware of, or maybe they should know?
Something that I run into with sometimes my clients and my patients is that they're a little reluctant to come in for veterinary care. You know, maybe they're scared of what they might find out. Maybe they've talked to their friends and their friends have said, oh, my dog or my cat, or maybe they've done some research on the internet, and that might take them down really the wrong road. So if I had a closing idea, it would be, don't second guess. If you have any question about your pet's health, bring it into your veterinarian, have your veterinarian diagnose it, and don't be afraid of the information that you can gather.
Right. And don't Google diagnose your pet, because you can find a million things wrong with your pet and it could scare you. It could be something that way worse than your pet doesn't even have. So come to the professionals like Darryl Patrick here at VCA Shaker Animal Hospital and take the best care of your senior dogs and cats so they can live a long and healthy life. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
GNA's Pet Professors is brought to you by VCA Shaker Animal Hospital, located at 223 Maxwell Road in Latham, New York, in conjunction with VCA Animal Health Center.